Be Fire because you are members of the Focolare, April 5, 1984. The Word of Life, which casts light on the path of our holy journey this month, begins in this way: get rid of all the old yeast, to make yourselves fresh dough, unleavened loaves as it were. We have already commented upon this Word of Life various times in the past because of the way it seemed to have caught our attention. In fact, we could also read it in this way: remove the old leaven, the leaven of evil, because you no longer have this leaven through the grace of being Christian. It is almost like saying be Christians because you are Christians. This Word of Life can be truly useful for many followers of Christ. Oftentimes, in fact, we hear the complaint, Christians exist but are not recognized as such because they do not live as authentic Christians. Instead, they should be singled out for their love, for the fire of charity they possess. It is a Word of Life which for us could also be read like this: be fire because you are members of the Focolare. Recently, I was at Via dei Cestari, near Minerva, where Saint Catherine of Siena is buried. I remember other visits I have paid to her tomb. One during the beginnings of the Focolare in Rome, when a writing of hers had deeply struck us. If you are what you are supposed to be, you can set all of Italy on fire. With infinite gratitude, I realized that this fire has been enkindled all over the world. It has at least been lit. The entire world has not yet been set ablaze during the course of these 40 years, but we can say that a fire has been enkindled throughout the world. At this time, I felt an immense desire within to see this fire burst into a blaze. But how can this happen? It seemed to me that Saint Catherine was repeating to me again, if you are what you are supposed to be. I made a connection between her invitation and the Word of Life for this month. Are we Christians? Then we must be Christians. Are we members of the Focolare? Then we must be fire, really be fire. We know that a fire cannot be sustained unless it is fed by paper, by wood, straw, or other materials. In the same way, we cannot be loved unless we love. Our neighbors give us this opportunity. Since in some way we always have people around us, we can be fire. We must remember that our way to God is our neighbor. The love we feel in our hearts for God grows inasmuch as we love our neighbor concretely. We are scattered all over the world. Take out a map and examine the area you live in to see what extent the Focolare has spread. Take notice of the fire which already exists. See what kind of fire it is. It may be already burning, or just enkindled, or still gaining strength under the ashes. Take note of the places where a fire has not yet been set, and then work at setting one. If you start out by being who you are supposed to be, you will bring about the same fire in those with whom you come in contact. They, in turn, will do so for others, and so on. Jesus wants us to be set ablaze. He wants it set throughout the world. Yes, the third Christian millennium is approaching, and it must see the fulfillment of these words: if you are what you are supposed to be, you will set fire all over Korea, throughout Portugal, Paraguay, all over the Ivory Coast, in other words, in every nation of the world, and then in every region of every nation, and then in every city, in every town. If the Focolare has reached the point that it has today, why should it not move further ahead? It can happen if we want it. Then it will be Jesus Himself, the risen Lord, who will enkindle this fire and spread it. He can be in our midst. He can always be in each one of us, and for this to be true, we know that He expects from us. It is enough then that we want it. In the next 2 weeks, let's keep this thought in mind. I must be fire for all those I meet and for those who have been entrusted to me.